All right, good. I guess we're continued here in the morning. So this one. All right. Good morning. We're gonna go ahead and get started again. Is it not working? It says it's on. Test. Oh, there we go. All right. We're gonna go ahead and get started again. Good morning, everybody. My name is Jeremy Douse. I'm the Deputy Director for the Division of Forestry and Fire Protection. And we have a panel this morning. Two of the members of the panel are going to be presenting remotely. We did this panel here maybe a couple months ago at AFE in Anchorage. So this is a conversation that we had in that group and kind of recycling it for this. Obviously, you are all an audience of foresters and people that know about forestry and wood. And so it's whereas with AFE, it was a variety, the audience was a variety of different folks. So we tried to repackage this to fit this audience. The intent of this panel, we will go through a presentation, each of the panel members will, but the intent is really to engage in a conversation. So that the title of the presentation, as you can see in your packet, it's Growing the Future, Sustainable Wood Utilization in Alaska. And we're looking at three different perspectives of wood utilization here in the state. Hopefully we do have, okay, looks like we do have Darren and Priscilla on. So, and I think Priscilla has to leave at 11. So we'll go ahead and get started. Let me load up the presentation. Yep. Slow. We're getting there. So on my computer. Okay. Thanks. And I can advance the slides.
You can advance the slides. You have to just make sure that you're
Okay, great. Okay, so wood utilization in Alaska, or sustainable wood utilization in Alaska. Sustainable, it's an interesting topic, right? Because in Alaska we have different issues, different parts of the state, different regions of the state. Alaskans need wood for everyday life. They need wood products. We face housing shortages. We have expensive energy costs, and some of our forests can help with those challenges. So again, it's my hope that we can have a discussion about this here today, and kind of represent like the whole state and all the regions that we all come from. So sustainability in terms of sustainable wood products, it still requires management of our forests, right? So as a state land manager, we have a mandate to manage all of our resources sustainably, and I know the federal government does as well. The state constitution, so the organization that I represent under Article 8, Section 4 of the Constitution states that fish, forests, wildlife, grasslands, and all other replenishable resources belonging to the state shall be utilized, developed, and maintained on a sustained yield principle. So with forestry, I mean, that's like the core tenet of the profession, right? That's why the profession came to be in the United States, was to maintain a sustainable use of the resource, but not diminish the resource. And in most of our agencies, that exists through, at least in forestry, at least that exists through annual, which we measure through the biological measurements that we get in an inventory, right? So we know how much we can cut without diminishing the resource. But sustainability isn't just about timber, it's also about the other resources. Again, from a state perspective, we have the Alaska Forest Resources and Practices Act, which protects fish habitat and water quality and then keeps forests as forests. So that's a protection of other resources that, you know, in addition to
the timber itself. And we spend a lot of time doing FERPA inspections with ADF&G and DEC to help with those inspections. So sustainability of the resource is the first consideration of all the resources that we could potentially impact, but it's also sustainability of the industry is a consideration. So for land managers, without the industry, we would really lack the ability. That's our tool for managing the resource, right? Even if it's fire or fuels management, timber, we need an industry to be able to help us with that. Otherwise, it's costly for government agencies to be able to engage in those activities. So the industry in different regions of the state looks very different. Down here, there's quite a history of an industry existing. In the interior, less of a history of it, but starting to grow more and more as we identify more needs for or from the forest for both value-added products and energy products. We have traditional markets like construction materials and boards and timbers. Last couple of decades, there's been more of an emphasis on energy markets like chip systems, pellet mills, and even in Fairbanks, a kiln-dried firewood system. In other states, they have emerging markets like engineered wood products, cross-laminated timbers, and wood fiber insulation. Here in Alaska, the Cold Climate Housing Research Center is engaging in some of that research with wood fiber insulation, which is really interesting. Additionally, we're working with home financing entities through which Matt will get into this here in a minute, but through our local lumber program, using locally produced lumber to be able to be used in housing construction for residential uses. So engaging in all of these different new uses that industry can engage in. So this panel will explore these topics. We'll begin by asking the audience, or we will be asking the audience to engage in the conversation. So I think first, we have Darren that's going to be presenting on his, again, I'll let each of the panelists introduce themselves and where they're coming from and how they are adding to the conversation here. But